this is Eddie Komanek. I thought I'd do a quick run through on my lure coursing software. This is for field trial secretaries, and I figured I'd go ahead and create this to cut down on the time before field trials while secretaries are doing the draw and figuring out running orders and printing out sheets and everything. So this really automates most of that and does the draw and prints out all the sheets for you. But anyway, basically you'd start off, ahead of time and go ahead and create a trial. We'll do it for March 17th, and we'll do the Metropolitan Atlanta Whippet Association. Doesn't really matter what we put in here, and we'll go ahead and make an AKC trial with tests. So now that we've created that trial, we're just waiting on our entries to come in, and as entries start coming in, you'd create dogs, and basically you would associate whatever breed they are and go in and fill in all the relevant information, call name, and then what's really important is that you make sure you put an owner for the dog, because that matters when it comes to the draw for splitting the stakes. So after you create a dog, and I'm not going to go through and do all that right now, we'll just go with Zach right here. You would go through and enter him in the trial that you created. So we'll just put him in the Mawa trial on the 17th in the open stake. And there you go, he's already entered. And let's say he forgot to send in an entry form or was misfilled. You can generate that entry. As you can see, everything is filled out appropriately. Well, this is actually for the Fairhound, because I have the wrong one highlighted right there. If we come back, we can see it. There we go. Now we'll just pop up that entry form. So there it is. And then we can also generate a cert form if we needed to. This is just kind of a convenience thing, not really necessary. Or if you lost an entry form or whatever and you need one printed out, you have all that information there. So I'm not going to do too much on that trial I just created. We'll go to the Fairhound Club trial, because I do have a good bit of dogs and pre-entries already filled out for that. So you're coming to the trial and you need to do roll calls. Well, first you print up a roll call sheet for the trial. And normally these wouldn't be checked off, but I've gone through and checked them all off. And you can see Cinnamon here is not checked off at the moment. But once your roll call sheet is handed back to you, you go back into the trial roll call form and go through and check off all the dogs that you want entered into the trial that passed roll call. And if they didn't, then you can give a reason why, like if they need a refund, like heat or lame or whatever. So then you close that form, and then you're ready to do the prelim draw for that trial. And I had some stuff in there, but I'm going to go ahead and clear it out by unlocking the draw. And you don't want to click this randomly, because once the prelim draw is done, this button will gray out, as you'll see. So we'll go ahead and do the draw for that. And, oh, looks like we have enough whippets to split the stake, so we'll go ahead and say yes, go ahead and split the stake. It tells us that there are going to be 2 stakes in whippet open. And if we say no and like there are 5 stakes, then it'll say, do you want 4 stakes, 3 stakes? And then until you say yes. So we'll say there are 2 stakes right now. And then what you're going to do is, now that you have your draw done, I'll show you the trial scoring sheet form. And this is basically where you're going to be entering in all of your scores and whatnot. Actually, let me go ahead and show you JCs first, because that usually runs before the trial. So we've gone through and we've rolled called our JCs as well on that form, but we can also put up a test roll call sheet, which is different from the trial, and that will only have our tests on there, and you can see the stake for the JC, and we check present, and then we fill that out on the roll call form, and then we can print up our QCJC judges sheet, and that will allow the judges to pass-fail the dogs, and then they hand that back to you. And then you could go into test scoring, and then you could say whether or not the dog passes or fails. And that's just pretty much for record keeping. This doesn't really matter, because you're going to turn in your original judge's sheet for the QCJC anyway, with the signature. So now we'll go in, we've done our prelim draw, so I'll show you the draw sheets. And here are the draw sheets all printed up in draw order. Oh, let me show you the judges in running order real quick. This is where you assign your judges to whatever breed they're judging that day. And although we don't have any Borzoi entered, we'll go ahead and assign a judge for that. And in this form, you can go ahead and set your draw order, or your running order. Oh, we can't have two. Jan the Cree is running that. And we'll put that Borzoi on last. So if we have any Borzoi come in, it'll tell us the breed count right there. And we can figure out, based on our judging, where we want dogs to run, or we can sort on the running order. So that's going to be our running order for the day. So now we'll go back and we'll actually look at the trial scoring for the Barrow Hound. And as you can see, everything is nice and drawn. We're going to sort on the prelim draw right here. So everything is yellow, pink, and blue on down. And as you change the color, or as you change the blanket color, it changes the little thing just for convenience. As you can see, the whippets have been drawn into open A or into open B. Now, when you do the draw, it actually does separate first on whether or not the person checks separate my hounds. And then it tries to match the owners on whether or not they check separate or hound, just for convenience. And then it goes through and does everything